Hey guys and girls, this is K0MRD, your radio prepper, and I am live. Yes, 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 I'm live. And if you hear music in the background that is not me, that is my upstairs neighbor sharing his music with everybody in the damn building. I apologize, I apologize, I apologize. So, anyway, here we are. It's Thursday night. I'm just waiting to see if anybody pops in. Just, it's Thursday night. So, well, we got two people watching. Let's see who's all here. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, Klingon. How are you? Let me post the link. Give me 1 second. I was saying, if you hear music in the background, it is not me. It is my upstairs neighbor who decided to share his music with everybody in the damn building. It drives me bat crap crazy when he does it, and they don't listen. So, yeah. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to open up uh, hamradiostudy.org. Move that to my second screen. And there we go. No, that's not what I wanted. All right, what the hell? Let's try this again. There we go. Pulling it up now. Let me see which mic they've got me working with. Hang on.
Is that any better? Hiya, Joe. Does my sound any better? All right, my computer switched my mic on me. I do apologize. All righty. Let me share my secondary screen just so we can get through this. No, I didn't want that. Share my screen. Oh, I clicked the wrong damn thing. All right. All right, can everybody see that? Hopefully. Let's see how it looks on YouTube. Well, I guess I gotta wait. Hey, Joe, thanks for dropping the Discord. I appreciate that. So, how was everybody's day? Mine was fairly normal. It was, call center. Go figure. Well, we got 4 folks in here. That's great. And all right. And these are actually just the questions. There's no answer. Well, I guess there are. Hello, I'm an idiot. Never mind. There they are. All right. Joe, how's your day going? I hope you're doing well. Same with you, Klingon. I hope you're doing well. Oh no, napping at your desk. That is so what I want to do sometimes. Can't, but I want to. They kind of frown on that at work. Damn it. All right. Hey, that's cool. Good to hear that, Joe. It's always a good day when, you get something accomplished. And, that's the best way to do it. I'm just. Okay, there's not a whole lot of them here. So, that's groovy. We can go through TA and T1B probably. Get through that tonight. Yep. Yeah. And those days they're really wearing is a word I'd use. The tough ones. Those are the bad days. Oh. I've been watching a group of trainees for the last week, and well, some of them are getting it, a few are not, and I don't know how long they'll be at the job. So it is what it is. I'm doing my best to help them, but if they're not going to listen or anything, then. And there she is.
I'm doing my best to help them.
Klingon Prince.
Not going to listen or anything. And there she is. I'm doing my best to help them. Klingon.
All right. Did we lose the echo?
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. I silenced it on my phone, but I forgot to on YouTube.
No worries. No worries.
You still have the barking, though.
That's fine. I could deal with that. Okay. I'd rather have barking than listen to some asshole's bass. Sorry. That's one of my pet peeves. Can't wait till I get my own damn house.
I just have one neighbor, and we knew each other before we lived next door to each other. So, we're good neighbors to each other.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was figuring we can go through these questions. We can go through T1A and T1B probably tonight because there's not a whole hell of a lot of them. And see where we go from there. How's that sound?
Okay. What's T1A and T1B?
T1A, sub-element T1, is the FCC rules, descriptions, and definitions for amateur radio service, operator and station license responsibilities.
Okay.
Yeah, basically right it's the rules and regs. Yep, it's right on the screen.
Okay.
All right, scrolling down, section T1A, amateur radio service, purpose and permissible use of the amateur radio service, operator or primary station license grant. That just means your license. Meanings of basic terms in the FCC rules, interference, races, rules, phonetics, and frequency coordinator. Every state has a frequency coordinator to set up repeaters. So yeah, you want to set up a new yes.
What is races rules?
Races is a I can't remember what races stands for, but it's
they'll probably tell later.
Yeah, but it's like emergency services, emergency communications.
Okay. Okay.
Races and ARIES, amateur radio emergency services. So yeah. And the
Thank
phonetics
you.
are easy. That's Kilo Zero Mike Romeo Delta. All right. Which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations? It's number C, or letter C, not number. Advancing the skills in the technical and communication phases of the radio art. That's what we do. Question 2. What agency regulates and enforces rules for amateur radio service in the United States? That is the Federal Communications Commission. Yeah, they're the people that sell off the bandwidth to cell phones. What are FCC rules regarding the use of a phonetic alphabet for station identification in the radio service? It is encouraged, not mandated.
So do yours.
Kilo Zero Mike Romeo Delta. And actually, in the Discord, I believe I put in, if I haven't, I will,
Okay.
the phonetic alphabet and CB10 codes. So everybody can,
Sweet.
download those or check them out. How many operator or primary station license grants will be held by one person? That is one.
I remember that from last week.
Mm-hmm. What is proof of possession of an FCC issued operator or primary license grant? The control operator or primary station license must appear in the FCC ULS Consolidated Licensee Database. And that is basically common knowledge. If you know where to look, you could get addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses now of license holders. What is the FCC Part 97 definition of a beacon? An amateur station transmitting communications for the purposes of observing propagation or related experimental activities. Basically, you send out your call sign every so often, automated, and that's your beacon. If you choose, you can. There are programs that'll let you do that via computer if you hook it up to a radio as well. What is the FCC Part 97 definition of a space station? It's got to be more than 50 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Yep, those are fun. Which of the following entities recommends transmit receive channels and other parameters for an auxiliary and repeater stations? The volunteer frequency coordinator recognized by local amateurs. And the next question answers this. Who selects the frequency coordinator? Amateur operators in a local or regional area whose stations are eligible to be repeater or auxiliary stations. So go ahead.
Is it generally so it's the ones who are eligible to be a repeater station, they vote, or is it generally handled through an amateur radio club for the area?
There's an individual who oversees. If I were to put up a repeater in my area, I would have to reach out to the state's frequency coordinator, and that's easily found on Google. And I would have to say, there's a form you fill out, and it gives you a repeater pair frequency to transmit and receive. And they say, okay, you can use that, or you can use X, Y, and Z. They'll give you a choice. Generally, it's the first come, first served. So if I wanted to,
the frequency coordinator an elected or nominated position, basically?
It's a nominated position of the local or regional clubs in the area.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's not somebody from the FCC per se, but they report to the FCC.
Okay.
Okay. Which of the following best describes the Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service? There's your RACES.
Races.
All of these are correct. I love those answers. They're all correct. When is willful interference to another amateur radio station permitted? That is a no-go at any time. It's a gentleman's agreement to be on the airwaves. If somebody's there first, you let them finish, and then you do whatever you're going to do, if it's a net or what have you. And that is the end of T1A. Now we're going to T.
Questions like that might be asked in any their format, but covering the same material.
Correct.
But that's basically the material for that section.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to T2A. Supplement T2. These are your operating procedures. Station operation, choosing an operating frequency, calling another station, test transmissions, procedural signs, use of minimum power, choosing an operating frequency, the band plans, and calling frequencies and repeater offsets. Okay.
Okay.
Which of the following is a common repeater frequency offset in the 2 meter band? It's plus or minus 600 kilohertz. So when you go to put in, when you bring up chirp, it'll and you have your repeaters, your frequencies all there. All of that's already in. It's automatically put in when you copy from like radio repeater book. Sorry, had a brain fart. So it's going to be plus or minus 600 kilohertz. National calling frequency for FM simplex operations in the 2 meter band. That's 146.520. Simplex means radio to radio without a repeater. Okay.
Thank you.
What common repeater frequency offset in the 70 centimeter band? Again, plus or minus, and that's 5 megahertz. Okay. And that's just whoever sets up the repeater, they decide, well, we're going to go positive. So if your texting frequency is 444.100, your receive frequency, no, I got that backwards. Your receive is 444.100. Your transmit frequency is going to be 5 kilohertz higher than the receive. Does that make sense?
It makes sense what you said. I guess I would want to know why that is and how that works.
That is just the FCC rules.
So the person is transmitting at 5 megahertz higher, and then you can, is it just kind of like bleed over? You get it?
No, what it is, this is all for repeater offsets. So if I transmit,
okay.
Right, I transmit on 444.100. The repeater will hear it 5 kilohertz higher, and then retransmit it at the same frequency that I sent. Okay.
Okay.
All right. When is it appropriate to call another station on a repeater if you know the other station's call sign? Say the station's call sign, then identify with your call sign. Okay. Here we go. K6. What do we say? LNG? LIG?
Something.
Yeah. K6 LIG. This is K0 MRD. Do you copy?
Okay.
That's basically all it is. And that's repeater or simplex.
So that's basically you're knocking on the door.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay.
How should you respond to a station calling CQ? Transmit the other station's call sign followed by your own. Same procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the following is required when making an on-the-air test transmission? Identify the transmitting station. For example, K0MRD testing. Oh my goodness, it looks like Lucky Dame is in the house and True American Loretta. Hello, guys. Thank you for stopping in.
Lucky Dame used up all of her leftovers. Now she has to create something new tonight.
What is meant by a repeater offset? The difference between a repeater's transmit frequency and its receive frequency. That's what I was talking about before. Okay. And that can be plus or minus, or positive or negative. So it could go up 5 kilohertz or down 5 kilohertz or 600 kilohertz. What is the original meaning of procedural signal CQ? Calling any station. And the way I think of it is K0MRD, CQ, CQ, CQ20. I'm calling any station on the 20 meter band. Okay. What brief statement indicates that you are listening on a repeater and looking for a contact? Your call sign. That's all it takes. K0MRD monitoring.
Okay.
What is a band plan beyond the privileges established by the FCC? A voluntary guideline for using different modes or activities within the amateur band. So, on the 2 meter band, you will see, if you look at the band plan, you'll see there's a point for data. There's a point for video. You can do SSTV, it's slow scan television that you can pick up on a television screen with the proper equipment. Hello, everybody. I am not ignoring you. Mark, I'm glad you're here. And who else is here?
Hawkeye.
Lucky and Hawkeye. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming in. What term describes an amateur station that is transmitting and receiving the same frequency? Simplex. Radio
And that's
to radio.
what we have.
Yep.
Okay.
If I were close enough to you, I could turn on my radio. You could turn on yours. If we know what, we'll be on 146.520.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I could put out my call sign. You hear it, you can respond back to me. But I would have to be close enough to you. It wouldn't work now unless you had like an HF rig. Because you're in California and I'm in Iowa.
Is that like one of the big boxes, like a big
Yes.
receiver, like our
Yep.
old? Okay. Uh-huh.
Yep. Which of the following is a guideline when choosing an operating frequency for calling CQ? All of these choices are correct. You listen first. Yeah, you listen first to be sure no one else is on the frequency. Ask if the frequency is in use. Make sure you are in your assigned band. It's hard to see it when it's blurred out like that. And that is T2 going on to T3A. Okay. I got to go. Everyone pay attention to K0MRD. There's a quiz on. You don't know how right you are, Lucky. Sub-element 3, radio wave characteristics, properties of radio waves, and propagation modes.
Okay.
Okay, radio wave characteristics. How a radio signal travels, fading, multipath, polarization, wavelength versus absorption, and antenna orientation. Samich, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you stopping by. What should you do if another operator reports that your station's 2-meter signals were strong just a moment ago, but now are weak and distorted? Try moving a few feet in either direction. Change, changing the direction of your antenna if possible, as reflections may be causing multipath distortion. For example, I'm outside and I'm in a downtown area. I'm using my radio. Somebody says, "Well, you're fading." I move up the block maybe 20, 30 feet, and there's a break between buildings. My signal will go out better between the breaks in the building than they were if I were standing right next to like the Sears Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's getting reflected back. And yes, I still say Sears Tower and not whatever the hell they call it now.
I'm with you.
Why might the range of VHF and UHF signals be greater in the winter? This was actually a no-brainer for me because there's less absorption by vegetation. The leaves on the trees have all fallen off.
Unless you live where I live.
True. At least in the Midwest.
Uh-huh. I was thinking it was like at nighttime that, maybe in the winter they're bouncing off of the clouds rather than.
Actually, that does play a part. But
the
for
correct answer.
Yeah, for VHF and UHF is less absorption by vegetation.
Okay.
See, and that should be they should have an addendum to that, unless you live in a place where vegetation is all over the place.
Yes.
What antenna polarization is normally used for long distance weak signal CW and SSB contacts using the VHF or UHF bands? And that's horizontal. Okay, the radio that you have is an omnidirectional antenna. Okay.
Okay.
If you were to hold your radio 90 degrees on its side,
Mm-hmm.
it just became a horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that would actually extend your reach, or you can make a dipole, but I'll get into that later.
And CW and SSB are?
CW is continuous wave or Morse code.
Okay.
And SSB is single sideband. Hey, Shad. Welcome.
Hi, Matt Shad.
Yeah, single sideband, one half of the carrier wave is suppressed, and that gives the other longer reach, if that makes any kind of sense.
Pulling on my rudimentary knowledge from junior high of electric shop. So,
yeah. What can happen if the antenna at opposite ends of a VHF UHF line of sight radio link are not using the same polarization? Signals could be significantly weaker. So if you're holding your radio the way you should, and I have my radio tilted down 90 degrees, it'll be a weaker signal that we both receive.
Oh, okay.
Right. However, if we both hold them vertically,
the
signals will match. Okay. When is using a direction, let's try that again. When using a directional antenna, how might your station be able to access a distant repeater if buildings or obstructions are blocking this line of sight path? Try finding a path that reflects signals to the repeater. Okay. Again, I'm standing downtown and I have a Yagi antenna in my hand, and I'll explain that later. It's a beam antenna. I would move that antenna so the signal would go through the break in the buildings or bounce off the building, kind of like a ricochet.
Yeah, bounce off the building into a break.
Right. Exactly. What term is commonly used to describe the rapid fluttering sound sometimes heard from mobile stations that are moving while transmitting? Picket fencing. Think of just picture a picket fence. You hear it, and yeah.
They should have named it baseball card in the spokes. I guess that would be a little long.
Yeah. What type of wave carries radio signals between transmitting and receiving stations? Electromagnetic. Yep. Shad, how you feeling tonight? Which of the following is likely to cause irregular fading of signals received by ionospheric reflection? Random combining of signals arriving via different paths. So, if I were to say something and then you hear it again, it's ionospheric reflection. Like if I transmit and then you hear me, K0 MRD, there's that delay that's being
so some of the signal is getting through straight, but other parts of it are maybe bouncing off of the ionosphere and coming through a little late or something instead of one solid stream. He just left.
I'm back.
Hiya.
Hi. My computer's doing a thing.
Yep.
I need to get it.
It's quirky.
Yep. I'm good. Everything's good on this end. Maintaining it's colder than hell out here, but that's fine. I'll take cold any day. I was answering Shad. Sorry.
Yes.
Which of the following results from a fact that skip signals refracted from the ionosphere are elliptically polarized? Yeah, either vertically or horizontally polarized antennas may be used for transmission or reception. So, in that case, whether you have your radio turned 90 degrees or not, you're still gonna get the signal really well. Okay. Come on. Oh, hello. What may occur if data signals arrive via multiple paths? And this is getting into packet radio. Error rates are likely to increase. Excuse me. Packet radio is something I'd really like to get into. It's basically using ham radio and a computer to communicate.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. And it's fun to do in the winter, so you're not standing out there freezing your toes off. It's not what I was going to say, but you know.
Toes are good.
Yep. Which part of the atmosphere enables propagation of radio signals around the world? The ionosphere. How might fog and light rain affect radio range on 10-meter and 6-meter bands? Fog and light rain will have little effect in these bands. 10-meter is the first band that techs have access to, and it can have worldwide communication. So, yeah, it's pretty fun. In fact, I believe North Shore has a 10-meter radio. I still have to talk to him to get it set up and everything, but yeah.
The one that I have is 2 meter?
2 meter, 70 centimeter.
70 centimeter.
Your UHF and VHF. What weather condition would decrease range at microwave frequencies? Yes, we do use microwave communications, and that is any kind of rain. It's
Okay.
weird. Those are like you know the old routers that are 2.4 gigahertz?
Mm-hmm.
That's microwave stuff. That's the microwave range.
So microwave is actually, I've never thought about it before. Are you still there? Mm-hmm. He's sort of here.
Yeah. Hello.
Are you back?
Yes.
So microwaves, are they just, wait, where's my fingers? Where's my camera? There we go. Like if you have a frequency that's like this, like microwaves would be like actual like
Yes.
microwaves.
Yeah.
And so precipitation
Would
seem
block those signals.
that makes a little bit of sense, at
Dad,
least
I'm here. I promise.
in a Leyland. Your microphone got switched, I think, back to the old
Oh
one,
crap.
the quiet
Hang on.
one. Okay.
How am I sounding now?
Now you are good.
Okay. Yeah. I really need to get a new computer. Okay. Element T4 amateur radio practices and station setup. Station setup connecting microphones, reducing unwanted emissions, power source, connecting a computer, RF grounding, connecting digital equipment, and connecting an SWR meter. What must be considered to determine the minimum current capacity needed for a transceiver's power supply? D. All of these are correct. Efficiency with the transmitter at full power output, receiver and control circuit power, power supply regulation, and heat dissipation. They're all correct. How might a computer be used as part of an amateur radio station? All of these are correct. For logging contacts and contact information,
Mm-hmm.
or sending and or receiving continuous wave or Morse code,
Morse code. Uh-huh.
for generating and decoding digital signals. That's
So you're
PSK 31
actually using it as a
in,
radio.
in conjunction with a radio.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Do people still exchange those postcards with their
QSL cards. Some
mhm.
people still do, yeah. And those are like really cool to get because if, say, I contacted you, we both had HF rigs, and I
Mhm.
contacted you, I could send you a QSL card
Yeah.
in the mail.
Yes.
Yeah, those
That
those
that would
those
be
are great.
cool.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor who did ham radio when I was a kid, and he had in his radio shack all kinds of them from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
I have one somewhere from Austria.
Oh, neat.
My first HF contact was into Austria.
And he actually had cards and sent
Yep,
one.
he sent it
That's
back to
super
me. Yeah,
cool. Super
yeah,
cool.
yep. Why should wiring between the power source and radio be heavy gauge wire and kept as short as possible to avoid voltage falling below that is needed for proper or operation?
That makes
For
sense.
example, I have a power supply that is 2.5 amps. And while I can listen on um, my HF rig, every time I key the mic to transmit, power cuts off
Mm.
because that the HF rigs need at least 20 amp power supplies. Now,
And the house is 12, right? Oh, no, that's 12 volt. Never mind.
no, yeah, I just received today a 30 amp power supply from Amazon.
Okay.
I've got to do some tinkering with my wires, but yeah, it should work now. I should be able to listen and transmit.
Cool.
Yes, fat wires do make a difference. They hold more current. Which computer sound card port is connected to a transceiver's headphone or speaker output for operating in digital modes? That's your microphone or line input.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What is a proper location for an external SWR meter? And that's standing wave ratio. That's
Not shortwave radio.
Right.
Standing wave ratio meter.
Right. Hey, Joe's dropping links. Thank you very much.
Joe's trying to be super mod.
There we go.
Go, Joe. Go, Joe.
Okay. The proper location for an external SWR meter is in series with the feed line between the transmitter and the antenna. I wish my camera was working so it'd make it a lot easier. Picture an HF radio, an SWR meter, and then a line out
box.
Yeah, it's a separate box, and the line out going to your antenna. There would be a jumper cable going from your radio to the SWR meter. That's your TX, your transmit, and then the receive would be coming in through your antenna, going through your SWR meter back into your radio.
So your antenna would not be connected directly to your transmitter in that case. It would have the SWR meter in between?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't use an SWR meter, so my antenna goes directly to my radio. So,
just like mine is on my little handheld.
Correct. Okay. Which of the following connections might be used between a voice transceiver and a computer? C. Receive audio, transmit audio, and push to talk.
Following connections might. A voice transceiver is
your radio.
Like my radio. And a computer is a computer for doing the digital. Receive audio, transmit audio, and push to talk.
Okay.
So it almost can make your computer walkie-talkie. Push to talk? Is that what?
Okay. On your radio, okay, if you open up that side port for the programming cable, okay, you put the programming cable into your computer and the other end into your radio. That's essentially turning your transceiver into digital operation because you're going to program it with chirp. Okay. So basically it's just a cable that connects your radio to your computer.
Okay.
And the push to talk is your mic key.
Okay. Those connections, the following connections, you can do audio. They're calling it connection, the audio, transmitting audio, and push to talk.
You receive and transmit audio and PTT.
Okay.
How is a computer sound card used when conducting digital communications? The sound card provides audio to the radio's microphone input and converts the received audio into digital form.
That makes total sense.
Okay, I'm glad it did because it didn't make sense to me at all when I started.
Okay.
Which of the following conductors provides the lowest impedance to RF signals? A flat strap.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, I won't ask you.
No, go ahead, ask. I may know.
What is a flat strap?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'll look it up.
Yeah, there are some things I don't know.
You just know the answers.
Yeah.
It's rote knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you learn this and regurgitate it at the test, and you pass.
Okay.
Which of the following could you use to cure distorted audio caused by RF current on the shield of a microphone cable?
A
Yeah.
ferrite choke, of course.
Yes. And that's basically, if you look at it, a ferrite choke is basically a piece that will snap around your cable and it
Okay.
impedes RF going further than it should. Okay.
Okay.
It's like putting a wall
Uh-huh.
around it. So it stops RF from going out and causing your light to turn on and off when you transmit.
Okay.
Okay. What is the source of high pitched whine that varies with engine speed and a mobile transceivers receive audio? It's the car's alternator. And
Oh,
that,
mobile transceivers.
right.
Uh-huh.
And that is only if you hardwire your radio to your battery. If you use the cigarette or accessory port, you
Mm-hmm.
don't get that whine. Yeah, you don't.
So, do some people do ham radio in a portable way?
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Okay, so not just CBs or
Right. I have a ham radio in my van,
Okay.
and I basically use a Bofang,
Uh-huh.
and I have a battery eliminator that plugs into an
Mhm.
accessory port. Turn it on, I can hear. I use it for APRS when I go to work or when I'm driving, someplace I don't know, so people can look.
APRS,
Automatic Packet Reporting System.
which gives you what?
Tactical real-time location of any
Oh.
given object.
Uh-huh.
And you can actually find it up on aprs.fi on the computer. You can look it up, and
That sounds like what 3 words? Are you familiar with that?
no.
What 3 words is an app that has identified I think it's 3 square meters on Earth
Oh,
by
okay.
3 independent words. And first responders are using it. And, if you're I saw a video where someone was lost in a flood and they weren't near any road signs. They didn't really know where they were, but they had the app and it told them where they were.
You're
So,
talking
and they
about
were
Maidenhead grid squares.
Maidenhead what?
Maidenhead grid squares.
Okay.
For me,
I
and
wish
I
I
know
had
this
something to
because
write this
I've
down.
done this long enough. My Maidenhead grid square is Echo November 31 Delta Lima
Okay.
EN 31 DL, and that gives like 1 square mile from my house. It'll go out for 1 square mile around me. So if I'm like, okay, I'm at Echo November 31 Delta Lima, and somebody else is in Echo November 31 Mike Charlie, that's actually West Des Moines, where I work. And yeah, that's always fun to do.
And then and so that's through Maidenhead. And then what was when you said
APRS.fi.
and that's another system of
Right.
location.
And anyone can look that up online. And if you look up K0MRD-7, you could see my route to work from my house.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's actually pretty fun. And you can do that honestly with your cell phone and your radio. That's how I run APRS in my car.
Okay.
I have an old cell phone that's not activated, but I brought it in the house to download APRS, and then I have a connector cable from the radio to the phone, and it follows. It just, anywhere I go and I turn it on, you can see where I'm going or where I've been. Thank you. I'll have to check that out.
I think that what 3 words is probably a real layman's way of
doing the exact same thing I'm talking
doing the
about.
exact same thing that you're talking about, but accessible to layman, as it were. But so I'm going to look up the Maidenhead one and the
Alpha Papa Romeo Sierra dot Foxtrot India.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
We got the alternator. That's the last question. Where should the negative return connection of a mobile transistor's power cable be connected? At the battery or engine block ground strap? Okay.
So the punctuation on that sentence, so it would be the battery ground strap or the engine block ground strap.
Correct.
Okay. So then, okay.
Yeah, you can actually run a high frequency radio off of a car battery in an emergency. Yeah, all you got to do is connect the battery, the negative to negative, to positive, and you've got power. Yep.
For many things.
Yeah, I guess we're going to stop there tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm getting a little twitchy.
I bet. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. That was a lot of information.
Yeah. And next week, we can continue on. And hopefully my computer will act nice. Or I'll cry. Which is normal. So does anybody
have a crybaby?
Does anybody have any questions they want to ask or anything? Or if you just want to sit around and BS for about 10 minutes, I'm open for that. And I will open the floor up.
Okay, I'm going to jump off.
All right.
I'll stay in the chat.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
So, yay. I just posted a link over on Facebook. So if anybody wants to come on up. Or not, I could stand here and just be goofy for a while, because that's what I do. Anyway, I hope that this actually is helping folks. I'd really love to see more people get their license. And yeah, like that. So anyway, all right, I'm going to call it here. You guys, thanks for coming in. I appreciate each and every one of you for doing so. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and enjoy your Friday. And this is K0MRD, your radio prepper, and I am out. Thanks, Joe. Take it easy, guys.